Hello. So we are starting with our next topic in the course, which is systems engineering. In the systems engineering, we are going to study systems thinking, and that in the systems thinking, we'll basically study the fundamental concepts and fundamental definition, what it possesses of, what Incosi had defined, what other institute of systems engineering had defined. So we'll just start with the following content that systems thinking actually focuses and emphasizes on the behavior of whole system rather than individual component. What does this means? This means that there's a big project of a system, and this is a big system, and there are multiple components working together, multiple parts working together. So what systems thinking focus? Systems thinking will focus like studying the whole system, means studying the whole car as a system instead of studying one steering or brake or engine. So we are studying whole automated and smart automobile car as the whole system. Then systems thinking basically focuses and emphasizes more on interface which works in between the subsystem or the components. So what does this mean? There are interface between the steering and the tires, and how this works, that how steering and the tires are working together. This has to be independent of engine or not, and how that has to be independent. So this system is different, but gearbox, accelerator are actually connected with engine. That engine should give the power to the tires, or the whole uh, system that this car should move forward. So this is the purpose of whether that particular components are being working together or not working together, and how these interfaces are being connected to each other. This is the purpose of systems thinking studies. Then further, it thinks for the ability for interaction between multiple components that actually affect a different functionality. So actually developing such thinking which actually gives you understanding about the interaction between components and functionality and effect on the functionality and those components will actually the main purpose and soul and the most important purpose of systems thinking. Then understanding or intervening in a problem situation based on the principle and the concept of the systems paradigm. This means that it is giving understanding and further investigation and learning about further principle and concepts of a particular system domain, that is mechanical engineering for car automobile systems, as well as when you have a sensors on the car, then it is giving you electronic understanding. So all these systems paradigms should need to be understood very well, and these problems and situation for these problems should need to be understood very well, and how this works. And actually their systems thinking has connections with system representation, systems concepts, systems principle, and patterns. And then this has to be worked with systems approach, system science. So how these are being connected are being shown in this figure, and the systems representation was applied with system thinking. That systems thinking uses system concept that actually interrelate between systems principle, and then form the basis for the systems thinking. And then systems approach was being informed and m- applied for the understanding along with system science. So next, this relationship was being described in detail in the same book chapter, and the different book chapter of the Guide to System Engineering, Body of Knowledge. And this book was being published by Incosi and Stephen Institute of Technology. And this Stephen Institute of Technology is actually dedicated a lot for systems engineering, along with the Incosi. So this is the figure that where the systems thinking actually uses some systems concept. Then these are how it is related with systems principle and patterns to form basis for systems thinking. Then how the systems thinking was being applies with the systems representation. Then how it informs and gives you the information with systems approach applied to systems engineer to systems and system science. And these are the component for all of us to be an understanding for thinking about the system. And this is the purpose of systems thinking, and this is how system thinking is being related with other components of systems engineering. Next, complexity, chaos, and regularity. So the process of attention and adaptation to ensure appropriate identified boundaries, dependency, and relationship. So all these things, complexity, chaos, and regularity, how it has been studied. It was being studied with processes, adaptation of the system, attention towards the system, how it has been ensured, how system boundary works, how interdependency of one or two component, three component, or one system over another system dependency works, and how the relationship between the two different component, three different component, four different component works. This type of study actually gives you understanding about the system complexity and chaos in the system, regularity in the system. So these are the definitions that you need to study. Then the components has actually cohesion or togetherness. So you can define many things out of all these things. So cohesion, togetherness. Then it actually simplifies complexity and chaos and managing interdependency and understanding choice. So systems thinking actually helps you do simplification of complexity. Systems thinking help you to study or simplification of chaos in the system. Systems thinking help you to do managing interdependency of different components. It gives you understanding of choices. Then systems thinking actually having more complex, chaotic behavior. But because there is inadequate concepts and explanation, you start seeing complexity and chaotic behavior more as compared to the normal condition. Why you started thinking that this project or this system is very chaotic, very complex, very hard to deal with? Because you have inadequate concept, because you have inadequate information and explanation about that project or system. That's why you started thinking that this project is complex and chaotic. But when you have a proper understanding, when you have a proper realization, proper explanation, proper concepts behind that system, then the reduction in the chaotic behavior or the chaos or the complexity that you feel about the system will keep on reducing. So, just you have to understand that the chaos and complexity will decrease when increase on understanding and all the information that you get. And there are various similarity and differences between the component or the system that you need to understand and you need to study. How you will study that? You will study with the help of regularity. So regularity is a term which gives you information about uniformity or similarity that exist in the multiple entities or at the multiple times. So multiple entity and multiple time study for uniformity or simplicity, and similarity will give you the information of regularity, means similarity. Once you get the similarity, then you are able to understand about the differences, and the both the things out of similarity and differences, similarity, studying similarity is more important. Then the regularity is actually having both natural and engineering systems, and all these things means natural system and engineering system should be needed. Regularity means that is being appreciated, and we want regularity in natural systems and engineered system, and we want to study this information. So complexity, chaos, and regularities are important measure and parameters, or the information that of system that we study with the help of systems thinking. And this is the concepts of systems thinking, and you can also say systems theory. So these are the keywords or jargon that whatever you want to do, the main purpose is to study system complexity, main purpose is to study systems chaos, main purpose is to study systems regularity. Irrespective whether you are saying it as a systems theory or systems thinking, means both the things could interchange. Systems theory is a domain, systems thinking is a domain, systems engineering is a domain. So anything that you are related with, you just want to study the fundamental concepts. Next, systems attributes and environment. Any quality or property of a system element is called an attribute. So studying about the qualities and properties of multiple systems element, that is component or entities. So these system element, component or parts or some entity have different qualities and having different properties in them. Then you have you say it them all as attributes. Then states of a system is actually set of systems attribute at a given point of time. What does this mean? What is state? State means you have a system with many attributes in that. So you have many attributes and you have a given point of time. So at that given point of time, what was the values of these attributes? This will define a state of a system. Then when you go to the next time point, means you have went to the T1 to T2, means from Monday you went to the Tuesday, or you went from 2020 to 2021, and then when you went from January to February. So what was the system value attribute and how these are being changed? And this is what actually define state, means at a particular time point you have a particular state. In January you have a state 1, in February you have a state 2, in 2020 you have a state 1, in 2021 you have a state 2. So this is how you keep on changing based upon the attributes. Then systems event actually describes any type of changes in the environment of the systems, and this actually defines states, and based upon these states you can define static type of system, dynamic type of system, homeostatic type of system. So static system is actually single state exists with no events, and you have a single state and there is no event at all. Then dynamic behavior of a system, dynamic system means multiple possible stable state exist in the system. So dynamic states system are there. And there is homeostatic, means systems which is having static behavior but its elements are dynamic. So you have to study this type of system. Homeostatic means system is having static behavior but your element in that, means component or the parts in that system are dynamic. So the components inside that system are dynamic, but the whole system is static. So the car that we are telling, if you are assuming that car is a system, then it is not at all an homeostatic, because car also moves forward, backward. So car is not a kind of homeostatic system. Then what type of homeostatic systems are possible? Homeostatic system, if you want to think that, then you have to go further in detail, like there is some larger system like which stays at a same point, like there is a tower, mobile tower, frequency towers, or something that transmits signal. It stays at the static position, at a fixed point, a fixed location. There's a tower, antenna, or something device which actually emits a signal, and that system is stable at a particular place, and it is not moving. But there are many components inside that tower. So these components are working together with each other, and thus they are actually transmitting the signal from a same place. That type of systems are homeostatic. And the static means s- single state existing with no events. Dynamic means multiple possible stable states existing. Homeostatic system is static, but its elements are dynamic. The system maintains its state by internal adjustments. So once you understood about all these definitions, then don't stick to those particular definitions, because different authors have different meaning of these definitions. Means in engineering, static means different. When you go to arts or to finance, the static and dynamic and homeostatics will actually have something different, some understanding of systems, thinking of these different domains and different field and different studies have different definitions and meanings. So you just need to understand about the definitions. These are not the fixed and hard and fast definition, that these are the fixed definitions. So next we'll study stability and determinism. So stability and determinism. A system can react, respond, or act. So a system could possibly react over some input variables that it got and respond according to the another system which is acting upon that system one. So it can respond to the system two, means give reply to the system two. System one can reply to the system two because system two is asking something. Then it can act, means system one could act, start working with system two. Means when you push the brake on a car system, then the wheels of that car will stop rotating. So when you start pushing the brake, the wheels would stop rotating, and that's the process of braking mechanism in that whole car system. So this is what is it means by acting. And then the stable system, this is one of the very famous and popular definition, and there could be multiple definition, multiple way to define stability, and multiple authors have a multiple definition for stable system. So we are just seeing one or two definition for this. Means a stable system is the one which is having one or more stable states within an environment for a range of possible events. This definition says that there could be multiple states possible. Out of them, there are more states, one or more states. There are many states which could be stable in a particular environment of that system. And then, based upon the particular set of events. based upon the particular set of event, based upon the particular event, there could be possibility of one or two or three state which could be stable. This is what it means by stable system. And then determinism and non-determinism. Determinism means system have a one-to-one mapping to system variable to the state space that will allow you to have a future state prediction from the past states. So determinism means when you have a learning or information about the past states or one-to-one mapping from one variable to another variable, you have these type of informations. Now what you can do, you can predict about the future that this should be the future. When you are able to do that, that means deterministic system. But what is non-deterministic system? Which is having many to many mapping of state variables, and future state cannot be reliably predicted. Means it's difficult for you to predict, and it's difficult for that system to generate such information because it is having many to many mapping between state variables. So it's very difficult, and it's not possible for predicting the future of that system based upon the past information. Then this is said to be non-deterministic system. Next, we'll see survival behavior. What is survival behavior? Every system should survive, and they should be adopted such that the systems often behaves in a manner that allow them to sustain themselves in one or more alternative viable states. This means that the system is actually having such a behavior or such an understanding or such a behavior that it works, that the system should sustain, means it will survive itself for many or one or more alternative viable states. If that system could able to do that, then what does that mean? That is the study of systems survival behavior. Then we'll see many natural or social system have this goal. It is obviously that if something has been created, then that thing want to survive. So that system tries to fight with its environment or try to learn from that environment or try to adjust and adopt to that environment in nature, in social system, and try to survive. And this is one of the important goal in survival behavior. So this type of thing is actually very common survival behavior, and it's automated and exists in the nature. Then either consciously or self-organizingly based upon the systems arising from interaction between the elements or components of part. This means that it is consciously or subconsciously, means unknowingly or knowingly, anyways, system tries to survive in its existing condition. Means system tries to self-organize itself, and it tries to arrange itself, and the interaction between components it tries to adopt according to the condition behavior for its survival. Then the another definition is entropy. Entropy is basically the tendency of a system to move forward and to move towards disorder or disorganization. This means that system changes from state 1 to state 2, state 2 to state 3, state 3 to state 4, and move forward or move towards something disorder. Means state 2 and state 3 would have more entropy, means more disorderedness and disorganization as compared to state 1. And then this is said to be entropy, and it has also been studied in physics as well. Then goal seeking behavior. So goal seeking behavior is a simple thing that we all human beings have some goals, because we are also working in some system. So some system have some reasons for its existence. beyond simple survival, means above survival. When a system is able to survive, then that system has to do some functioning and have to do some work in the surrounding. So it actually have some purpose, goal and objective. This purpose, goal and objective is the goal seeking behavior. Then goal seeking is one of the defining characteristic of the engineered system. So whatever you engineer, or what system you make, and what system you develop or engineer, it has to have some purpose, because that's the purpose of engineering. If that engineered system means a system that you had constructed, means car that you had developed, car that engineers had innovatively produced and sell to the market, it has to work and work very properly. So that is the goal seeking thing and expectation and defining some characteristic of that car, because it's a system that has been engineered for performing very best as compared to the expectation of client. Then these goals is a specific outcome which is a system can achieve in a specified time. So these goals are the specific outcome that is a specific outcome, means that a specific expected result, then desired result that you want to get with some input in a particular time. Means if you have an output unnecessarily, or you have results unnecessarily out of the way because of no reasons and purpose, then that has to be of for no reasons. Means you need to have results in a particular fixed time, and result should be actually defining that goal. Then what is an objective? Objective is a longer term outcome. Means it is also outcome, but it is a longer term outcome which can be achieved through a series of goals. There are 4 or 5 goals that are needed to be done to achieve a longer term objective. So there is objective is a superset of goals, and you can also say series of goals are the subset of an objective. Then ideal. So there is an ideal condition that I will study this much. There's an ideal condition that this car should drive at this much top speed, 200 kilometers per hour or 150 miles per hour. This is an ideal condition that this car should drive at maximum speed. So these are the ideal condition, and ideal condition are really a tough objective. So it's a kind of objective which cannot be achieved with any certainty. Means it is not necessary a particular horsepower of car would able to achieve 200 miles per hour. So it's like limitation of that engine or tires or the vehicle itself, that it can't reach the maximum speed as expected or ideal condition. Then this type of progress towards the objective has value. Means that's why the company keeps on trying to make faster cars with a limited size of engine, so that they could have a better property, better understanding, fuel efficiency. So these are the ideal condition for what car engineering works, and every engineering works for an ideal condition. And that might be achieved or might not be achieved, but we want that ideal condition to be achieved. The next, control behavior. Control behavior is a whole science. So the control behavior is a larger domain of, you can say, cybernetics, or a science of controlling some system and components of that system. So basically this type of cybernetic system or control mechanism is being defined based upon the two simple theories, that is negative feedback and positive feedback. Negative feedback means maintaining system state against set of objective or the level. Means you have various states of a system, that a particular set of objective or the level or something which works and behaving, that it is giving negative feedbacks that these are not working, this is have to be improved, and the state of the system should keep on evolving and developing. Then positive feedback which has been forced to grow or contraction to the new level, means that state 1, state 2, state 3, means it keep on forced to grow, means become larger project, and then a new level of project should reached out, and that is positive feedback. Then control behavior in the trade space, or how it behaves in between. Then there are further two definitions: specialization and flexibility. What is specialization? Specialization means it focuses a system behavior to exploit particular feature of its environment. Means you have a very specific topic to work upon, and you have a particular very focused topic or for focused problem or a system behavior that you want to study, that is said to be exploit in this definition. So for a particular feature, and then according to its environment. So that is specialization, means focus of a particular behavior, particular feature, particular environment, and that is specialization. You are trying to study all these things for particular terms and conditions. Then flexibility. This is the ability of system to adopt quickly to the environmental changes. Why a system wants to adopt? To survive for its future. So the flexibility should be there for a system to adopt and change quickly in the environmental condition. But in some conditions, the changes are not appreciated. But in some condition, changes are being appreciated. So in flexibility, changes are being appreciated. Means that system need to adopt quickly. Next, in the next class, we'll see systems development life cycle. For today's class, we'll finish our discussion here and we'll see each other in the next class. Thanks, class. Hope you enjoy.